Okay, the first issue that I have a problem with, and I think you mentioned, Commissioner Gord, is in the original settlement that we had discussed, we had one location, allowing them to erect a sign in one location. However, now in this settlement, we are offering 9 locations. My first question is, why are we offering 9 locations in the settlement?
Part of the logic of having 9 locations was to compensate for the 7-9 site being not on the table.
Who made that decision?
It was between ourselves, the administration, legal, and the other party.
Okay, let's start defining, let's start having a little accountability and defining who's the administration.
Vanessa, myself.
Was the law department involved?
Excuse me?
Was the law department
Yes, the
involved?
law department, I stated the law department was involved.
Well, let's define this a little bit more, because in the last meeting, or the last time we took the issue with the settlement, I asked a question that was answered, and although I knew it was answered incorrectly, I just let it go because I didn't think I didn't think it would either. It was indifferent towards my my point. However, I want to clarify now. When you say the law department was part of it, the law department, as far as you all, the administration, Vanessa and yourself, doing the business decision and then giving it to the law department where they're just put it in writing. Is that correct?
In theory, that's correct, yes.
Okay, because I remember that when we discussed the last settlement agreement, I asked Mr. Bittner who was responsible for the negotiations, and he said he was 100%. But I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think later we spoke, and the truth of the matter is, yes, he was 100% the one who put in writing what the administration had given him as the business terms. Is that correct, Mr. Bittner, or?
I put into writing the business terms that are given to me. I also suggest, where I can, and give advice to the administration as we're negotiating.
Did you suggest to give 9 locations?
That's something that was a product of negotiation. And that wasn't, I don't think that was anyone's idea but Mr. Harkley's.
Mr.
Harkley Thornton.
Harkley Thornton. However, the administration or the city that I have a fiduciary duty to now is presenting this to me, saying, hey, 9 locations, and I think that it is reasonable to ask, how are we coming up with these 9 locations? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the answer is, since 7-9 is off the table, then we agreed to the 9 locations. Is that correct?
Basically, yes.
Did you consult with finance department or budget department on this?
I did not.
No. Are you or anyone that was negotiating this, either a CVA or a ABV? CVA, Certified Valuation Analyst, Accredited Business Valuation? No. Did you hire an accounting firm that does it? So how do you possibly know the value of the 7-9 site?
Agree, I don't have a value for that. could have been 9 sites, it could have been 7 sites, and in my mind, it's 9 sites that leave the neighborhood, that go toward the expressway system, and I thought it was good. It was a good thing.
You know, usually there's a methodology to how we come up with X number of sites or so forth. Usually there's a methodology to coming up with a value. I mean, I think it's erroneous just to throw numbers up on the air. You know, and that's why, you know, I begin by stating that, you know, I've said it during this whole meeting, this is a bad settlement. And in order for me to at least get comfortable, and again, this is stepping aside from the principal issue. This is now just looking at the merits. You got to justify how you're negotiating. At least to me, you do. And when I mean you, I'm not trying to pick on you, Mr. Martinez. I'm not trying to pick on you, you know. But again, from your statement, you and Ms. Acosta were the one who were negotiating on our behalf.
Correct.
So I feel at the very least, there needs to be justification on why some of this is before us. And why will we give up 9 when originally it was 1? And if you're saying because 7-9, what's the value of 7-9? How did you come up with that value? What's the methodology? I can tell you, unless those answers are given to me and they're justifiable and so forth, right off the bat, I think we're giving way too much. Why 9 locations?
Part of the justification in my mind, it could be 9 or 90. It would be limited by the spacing. In other words, there's a finite number of signs that can be placed 1,000 or 1,500 feet apart. So he has the ability to put up 9 sites, if he can find 9 sites to do so. There will be 9 sites that have to come out of the neighborhood, which I understand we need to define the neighborhood, into the fringes of the expressway system.
Let me ask a question. What's the total signage, of the projections of the total signage that can be put up with the new ordinance? Do we have a projection?
Are you asking me, Commissioner?
I'm asking the administration, how many billboards can go up according to the new ordinance and the guidelines that we put up?
Well, there are only a finite number of locations. I cannot tell you how many locations are out there that are feasible. That's a matter of plotting it on a map.
The question is, anyone that gets a sign has to take off 2.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Existing signs, right? Okay. Do they have 9 signs?
They don't have 9 signs. They have to get them from other companies.
Okay.
And now they have 1 less because Clear Channel did not give them the sign.
In other words, for them to get signs, they would have to negotiate with the existing property or owners of signs permit.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no problem, Mr. Chairman. To conclude with this point, I will not support a settlement, again, separate from the principal issue, just on the merits now. I will not support a settlement when you're telling me we just threw a number up in the air. You need to justify that number if you're negotiating on my behalf.